GC 90.7's Studio A on the campus of Gulf Coast State College. RAPLINE with Emily Blaze.
Well, this year, the Salvation Army celebrates its 150th worldwide anniversary. Today on RAPLINE, my guest is with the local Salvation Army and will tell us a little bit about the history of the organization, the various programs locally, and, of course, their big Christmas Red Kettle campaign coming up. Joining me today is Major Caleb Prieto. And thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So, Major, give us a little idea about the history and the mission of the Salvation Army.
Well, there was a Methodist preacher in England in 1865. He felt the need to provide some resources for people who were homeless and hungry, and he saw the needs to do that, and he decided to separate from the Methodist Church and create this organization that will go out into the streets and not only minister to people and preach the Word of God, but also to provide for the needs. He always say, you know, it is hard for people to hear the message if they're hungry, if they're dirty, you know. So he started going throughout the streets and feeding people and providing clothing and baths and all the stuff in England, and how this is the basis of how the Salvation Army started. And out of that idea, the Salvation Army was born. Started expanding to throughout the world, and today we are in more than 127 countries in the whole world.
Wow, more than 127 countries. Wow, that's exciting. So tell us a little bit about the work locally going on with the Salvation Army.
This is a great community, and we feel the support of the community here. So we have throughout the year, we have been expanding our programs, and right now, for example, we have the transitional housing program. It's 12 apartments units that we provide housing for families who are in the close to being homeless or close to losing their housing arrangement. And if they come into the program, we will provide resources that are available already in the community to educate them, to train them, to make sure that this situation that they're going to face or they are facing will not happen again in their life. So budgeting classes, resumes, how to apply for jobs, how to do interviews. So a lot of things that will help them save some money, recuperate, and then go back to some permanent housing. The program runs from 6 months to a year, or a year and a half if they're making progress and getting somewhere. So it is in the individual basis cases, and we provide caseworker with them and all this stuff going on.
And so you said you had 12 transitional housing units, and there's a waiting list.
There's a waiting list. We were closed for a few months for renovations, thanks to a local grant from the county, and all our units are now hurricane safe. So we're ready to open. We have our staff on board, and we are going to start conducting the interview. But we have a waiting list, about 20 families. So we anticipate that those families will come into the program in the next couple of weeks, and we'll probably be full. We'll probably be full in those 2 weeks.
And you are listening and watching RAPLINE on GCTV and GC907.org as well, and FM 90.7. We're talking with Major Caleb Prieto with Salvation Army here in Bay County. So, Major, what led you to work with the Salvation Army? What was your inspiration?
I grew up in the Salvation Army. My parents were Salvation Army officers. A Salvation Army officer is an ordained minister who is in charge of a local Salvation Army unit. So we are pastors of a church. We also in charge of the administration of the Salvation Army and all the program in that community. So my parents were officers. My wife's parents were officers too. So we grew up in the Salvation Army, not here in this country, but back in Cuba. But when we made the transition to the United States, we integrated to the Salvation Army here, and one thing led to another one, and here we are, me and my wife serving as officers of the Salvation Army here in Panama City.
And so you are a pastor as well?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
and tell us about the church.
The church is located on Highway 77 in Lynn Haven. The church is the idea of our founder, is serving the people who from all kind of sectors in the society that needs a place to worship. We are part of the Christian Evangelical Church, and we believe in the Bible, and we preach the gospel of Jesus Christ.
And so growing up in Cuba and working over there and seeing the Salvation Army over there, how are needs different or the same as they are in Cuba as compared to here?
The Salvation Army in Cuba was a little bit different because of the government. There was some restriction to many of the things that we could do as a social services agency. So because in Cuba the government said that they will take care of the citizens, the church was not allowed to do social services. So in Cuba it was just a church. So here in the United States it's more extensive, the work, because we are a church also. We are an agency that provide social services for people. So it was a big difference when we came, and we realized how big was the Salvation Army. Of course, before the revolution in Cuba, the Salvation Army have children homes and homeless shelters and all the same stuff that we have here, but those things were lost through the years with regime over there.
And so here in Northwest Florida, over the last few years, how have you seen needs change?
I have been here for 3.5 years. In these 3.5 years, I have seen the increase of families coming up asking for help. I have seen that the needs are increasing. But this is a great community, honestly. I have been in other places all around Florida, and the support that we get here is amazing. So I'm always hopeful that people will keep coming through and help us accomplish our mission. So even though the needs are increasing, I also see that the support has been increasing as well, and we are just grateful for that, because we can continue to help people.
And of course, we're getting into that busy Christmas season, the Red Kettle campaign kicking off. And something I found very interesting was that the Red Kettle campaign began in 1891 in San Francisco, actually.
Yes. An officer in San Francisco was looking for opportunities to provide. It was a cold winter, and he wanted to do a soup kitchen, and he was running out of money, and he had an effective soup kitchen. So a lot of people were coming to his place for meals, but that specific year it was really cold. He was running out of funds, and he decided to take one of those kettles where he cooked the soup and the things, and started collecting money on the street, and out of that the tradition of the Christmas kettles pick up and became something that we are used to see it on all the movies and all the things.
So with those red kettles, how much money in general can you generate through a season with that?
Right here, for example, in Panama Panama City and the surrounding counties, we have been around $120,000, $150,000 during the season. That help us to do some of our programs on during Christmas, or some of the Christmas assistance that we provide during the season, but also really help us to keep the door open throughout the year. All the programs that we do, because we not only do the transitional housing, we have a food pantry that we can provide food for families, and let me tell you, more than 40 families a week come through our doors to pick up a bag of 22 pounds of food. So that's incredible. We also help with utility bills and some transportation issues and some medicine for some of the seniors. We also have a huge domestic violence program, and we serve 6 counties, and this is a big problem that not a lot of people like to talk about it, but it is a huge problem here in this area, and we have a safe house that for ladies who are victims of domestic violence, and that place remains full every day of the year. So we have a capacity of 21 ladies and children in that safe house, and it is amazing the services that we provide within. We have so many success stories. So ladies that didn't think of themselves as nothing because of the abuse that they were getting, and now they're integrated to society, they're working, they have the family, the housing, just because one day they decided to get into a program. So it is a great program, an excellent program.
And as you mentioned, the domestic violence program, if someone listening or watching needs help, what do they do? How do they get in contact with you?
We have, they can call the office, or they can call our hotline. We can check the website, or check the website, salvationarmypanamacity.org, and get the number for the hotline, and they can call there, and we can provide some counseling and some initial steps to get out of that situation, because we have seen some cases that have not ended well, and we don't want that for anybody. So we're really encouraging everybody who's going through that situation, or know somebody, to give us a call at the hotline, or check into our office, or check with our office to make an appointment to start with the process, because it's really important to start right away.
And as you mentioned, there are sad stories that didn't end well, but I'm sure it must be very gratifying to be a part of a program that helps someone get out of such a bad situation and go on to a better life.
Yes, from time to time we receive calls from ladies and their families who at one point were in our safe house or under our care, and to receive those phone calls saying thank you. My life has changed. I now have a purpose. I now have a life. It is amazing. It's the most rewarding thing.
And back to the Christmas campaign, do you need volunteers to ring the bells and to do the red kettles?
Yes. We're looking for individuals. We're looking for civic clubs, church groups, group of friends. We look for anybody, because we have about 22 locations, and we're going to ring the bell starting this coming Saturday, November 21st. And we have to fill those locations so we can collect as much money as possible. So we're looking for anybody who wants to give us from 2 hours to a full day, maybe if it's a group or a civic club or something, maybe more than one day throughout the season. But whatever, don't be restricted thinking that you cannot do it, because if you can only do 2 hours, that would be great help.
Right.
We will try to accommodate a place that is close to you, and we give you the training and all the tools necessary, but we are looking really for volunteers. We have to hire some bell ringers, but that's not the first. option. We would like to rely on volunteers, and this is something that we are struggling in this place. I have been in other Salvation Army throughout Florida, but the whole campaign is done with volunteers, and that would be my goal for this community. But we're making progress, but small steps. But we really need to get the word out that we're looking for volunteers. It's a wonderful opportunity for churches, for groups, student groups, civic organization groups, or whatever, or even individuals.
And as you mentioned, students, this would be a good opportunity for some of our campus students here at Gulf Coast if they're looking to do some community service or something to get in contact with you.
Yes, and we have done it before in other places. We have a collaboration with colleges and universities, and that's a great opportunity, and we will provide, a report of those hours that they're dedicating to the community. So it is a wonderful opportunity, yes.
And so you mentioned training. What kind of training would they get?
Well, basically what they can do and cannot do.
Right.
It's not too complicated. To ring the bell is not too complicated. But sometimes we need to be clear what to do and what not to do, because we have to keep a relationship with the retail stores that allow us, that give us permission to place a kettle on their location. So there are some things that we want to be respectful to those people. So some things have to be clear and to be in the same page.
Right. So you said there's 22 locations in our area?
Yeah, around 22 in this Bay County only.
Right.
And we're looking for volunteers, yes.
Right.
We did.
And from what time to what time during the day do you typically do that?
We usually do between 10 and 6, 10 in the morning to 6 in the evening. But we can extend that and accommodate that to expand if it's necessary.
Right. So someone doesn't have to be there all day. They can volunteer an hour or two or whatever.
Yeah, if they can do a couple hours throughout the day, whatever, we will accommodate those. And those, those 2 hours help a lot.
Yeah. And again, all the money collected goes right back to help the community.
Everything collected here in Bay County will stay in Bay County. We do kettles also in Jackson County and Washington and Gulf County, and that money stay on those communities to serve those communities. But every penny collected here stay here, and it's to help the programs that we run over here in this community.
And you are listening and watching GCTV and 90.7 FM. This is RAPLINE, and we're talking about the local Salvation Army. Of course, Major Caleb saying that they are in great need for volunteers to help with the Red Kettle campaign, so get in contact with him online as well to get the information and the phone numbers, things like that. You were talking, you touched on just a moment ago, the food pantry that you run. Tell me about that.
We run the food pantry with donations from the community. We have 2 or 3 big food drive throughout the year. But now in Christmas, we're going to give a food basket to every family that apply. We already concluded the application process, and we have again this year more than 1,000 families apply for Christmas assistance this year. So we will provide a food basket for a holiday meal for every family, and we will do that. The distribution is December 18. So even with all the food that we are going to collect during the season, probably after December 18, our food pantry is going to be
wiped out.
Yes. So we need as much food as possible, and they can drop it out in one of our locations, any of our locations at the store or the church or the administration building, and that will help us to replenish after we finish with the distribution for the Christmas season.
And so, as you said, 1,000 families getting a Christmas meal.
Yes, 1,000 families.
And so after Christmas, those shelves are probably going to be bare, so think about volunteering or donating after Christmas as well.
That would be essential. If you cannot do it now for any reason, that's okay, because after the season is over, we're gonna need it, because those 40 families that come in a regular basis, they're gonna come after. They're gonna come after the Christmas and the week after and every week throughout the year. So we need to keep our food pantry open, and we want to do that. But again, I'm grateful to the community here. They always come through.
So as you mentioned, there's 40 families in general that come each week for food. What are some of the hardships that they're facing?
It's just low-income families that living day to day. The economic situation of the country, even though it's getting a little bit better according to some experts, there is a lot of middle class, working class, and low-income families that are really struggling to put food in the table. So we see. Contrary to popular belief, we see a lot of working families coming to get that food, and they have jobs. They just cannot afford everything that they need to put the food on the table. So we get a lot of donations of bread and sweets from the local supermarket, and we are grateful for that. And we see families every day coming to our lobby to get the bread and the sweets, and they say that helps a lot. So.
And these are working families.
This is work in the majority. Those are working families who are struggling to put food on the table for the family. Yeah.
And most of them have children?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And what are some things that you think our listeners might find surprising about the Salvation Army?
Well, a lot of people don't know that we are a church first. A lot of people think of the Salvation Army just as a social services agency. But I think our mission is both goal to reach people with the word of the Lord, with the gospel of Jesus Christ, but also to reach them and meet their needs according to whatever they're struggling with. So it's a double mission there that combines. People don't have to accept our belief. We don't discriminate religion or creeds or sex or whatever. We don't discriminate on that, but our mission is to preach the love of God. So that's one thing that people don't usually know about the Salvation Army. Other people think the Salvation Army only as a store, as a thrift store, and we are more than that.
Yeah.
We are more than that. So although we have a thrift store here that is really good, and people can donate that, and they can call the number, and we do pickups. We pick up large furniture, large items. Other stuff, they can come by our store and drop it off. But the money from the store, the income from the surplus from the store after we pay our bills, help support some of the programs that we do in the community too.
And we have just a couple of minutes left in this edition of RAPLINE. So, Major, are there any final thoughts that you want our listeners and viewers to go away with today?
Super blessed to be in this community. I was a little bit, when I was appointed to come over here, I was a little bit concerned because of the culture, but it has been a wonderful 3.5 years. People are so receptive, and people respect the Army so much that it has been one of my best places to be and to minister and to help. The support is incredible. This is a really giving community, and I'm just grateful for the opportunity to serve people and to help people and to make a change in people's life. I cannot do that in my own. We have a staff and an army of volunteers who help me, but most important, the whole community behind the army. I'm just grateful to be serving the Lord in this place.
And again, need Red Kettle volunteers.
We need volunteers for the Red Kettles, yes.
All right. Well, Major, thanks so much for coming on RAPLINE and sharing your mission with us.
Thank you for a wonderful opportunity to get the word out. We really, really appreciate that.
And you are so welcome. And that is a wrap for this edition of RAPLINE. And thanks again to my guest, Major Caleb Prieto with Salvation Army here in Panama City. And a reminder, if you are thinking of adding a pet to your family, consider the adoption option. I'm Emily Balazs. Thanks for listening and watching, and have a great day.